welcome to episode 284 of Checkpoint Chat. My name is Alessandro Bobos. I'm joined, as always, by Matthew Figuera. Far less hair.
Excuse me? Yeah, I had a bit of a haircut. It's been a talking point among people. There's no middle of the road with this haircut. Okay, it's either straight up, your hair looks great, thank you, if you're one of those people, or why did you cut your hair?
So who do you think is being the most honest?
You see, it's initially earlier this week, I was saying to Lensk, it was hilarious because my immediate response from like my mom, my mother-in-law, anyone in South Africa, they were like, why did you cut your hair? Everyone I'd seen in the UK was like, oh, bang over haircut, you look great. Maybe it's just a very UK, it is a very UK thing, I guess, to have. So if audio listeners, you don't know, okay, my hair is the shortest it's been in a long time. I still have hair, didn't shave it off, but it's a lot shorter on the sides than it is on the top. And I think that's
like
a very...
The curl is only on the top now.
Yeah, and I think that's a very UK thing. But it's funny because whenever I go for... I didn't change the brief at all. My brief is always the same as a barber. I sit down and say, my hair's just very long, can you just bring it in a bit? You know, not too short, anything. And if you don't have curly hair, when it's wet, it obviously goes straight. I think when you're cutting it, it's difficult to gauge what it'll look like when it's dry. So when he was cutting it, it did look pretty normal. I can't tell you he was cutting more than normal. So anyway, when it dried, he said, it's done. And I looked and I was like, that's not shorter than I'm used to. But I don't mind. Like, I think it looks okay.
I mean, at that point, you don't have a choice. The deed is done.
I want my money and my hair back.
Grab the sellotape quickly.
If
we tape it on fast enough, it might continue growing.
Bring out the toupee. I'm ready.
I think it looks good. It's
thank you.
It's different. I saw the photo on Instagram. I was like, wow, that's a haircut. That's
like
a lot of hair gone.
Who's this handsome man?
I've seen you have haircuts before, but I don't think I've seen your hair that short.
No, it's probably the shortest it's been in a decade. I don't know. Would
you ever do the buzz cut? Just
no.
Fucking right off.
No. To be fair, I don't think I'd ever have my hair the short again. So you never know. Maybe next time we podcast, it's hi, what's up? It's me, Alessandro. I'm recording with. I don't know who this man is. Never seen him before. He's got Maddie's glasses, but what's going on here?
Listen, we are just both blessed that we're not balding.
No.
I will take that any day. I did have a slight fright last year when I did shave my head entirely. This was like in April last year, actually. And I was like, what if it doesn't grow back? Am I tempting fate? Am I like telling my body that it's okay to just never grow the hair back? But turns out not an issue. I mean, my hair's like longer than it's been in years. It's like crazy.
Yeah, you got like
long.
a nice thick head of hair.
I don't think I've cut my hair in like 4 months.
I think your child is testament to the genes you have. Have you
strong?
Yeah. Have you heard of Turkish hair implants or not Turkish specifically, but the fact that it's cheaper to do in Turkey?
Yes, I have. I don't know someone who went to Turkey, but I know a friend who went to China to get hair implants. They did a good job. Like, it looks pretty good.
Well, Lenska and I laugh because we've got a concierge in our building, and we've lived here a couple of months now, so we've started like chatting to the staff. We know the regulars. And there's one guy who went away for a couple of weeks. We knew he had said he's going on holiday, whatever. Yeah, like younger. I must be like early 20s, like maybe mid 20s, if not a little bit older maybe. But he got back, like, how was your holiday? It's like, yeah, it's good. I got hair implants done in Turkey. We were like, like, didn't really, like, it looks great, but didn't realize he was balding. But what I'm getting at is just, it's that accessible, because I can't tell you, I thought if you're going to get in a plane to do hair implants, you must have like money to burn. Okay, this is a young dude. I can't imagine he's earning huge amounts of money. He got on a plane. It's like, what do you think of my hair implants? Like, oh, okay, cool, man.
I just love that's how you open the conversation. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm good. Check out my fucking hair.
It was a bit of a. I was like, I don't know what to say. Like, your hair looks good.
It's like I've had this interaction with people. I think you were actually there, where it's like you see someone you haven't seen in quite some time, and you're like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And it's like, "Yeah, yeah, no, I'm good. I've lost so much weight." And you're just like,
I don't know how
"Okay, I
to
was gonna
respond.
get there."
Yeah.
But sure, yeah, you look good. Yeah, doing fucking great.
I'm opening conversations like that from around. Hey man, how's it going? Oh, good. I cut my hair.
You should do that. I'm gonna do that with Asher. How you doing? Oh, I've got a baby. This is my baby. It's like, well,
this is him.
I hope so. Yeah. I did this. I made this. I said that at work to someone the other day. We were just talking, and it's like, Shani and I was saying we made a human. I made a child, and someone looked at me. They're like, "You didn't do anything," and I was like, "What do you mean I didn't do anything?" It's like, you didn't carry that child for 9 months. I'm like, yeah, but
Okay.
it's like 50% my DNA. Like it's still me. Like it's like, nah.
That's
What?
how dare you?
I didn't even know how to respond.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
that's-
okay, like sure, man,
so-
like whatever.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about games shortly. Let me tell you about things to not know how to respond to. So one of my work colleagues from South Africa is here. We met up with her for dinner yesterday, but it was her and there's other South African colleagues like me who have moved and lived in the UK now. Okay, so we all
former
got
South
together.
Africans.
Former South Africans, yeah. We all know each other, all had dinner, whatever. But then these colleagues were like on their way to partying the nights away. Okay, we had dinner, they'd already had a couple beers. Like, listen, Lenska and I are gonna go. Okay, I'm podcasting in the morning. Two of them looked at me like, "What? You have a podcast?" I was like,
Oh.
Like, you've worked with me for years. You know this. You've just forgotten that I do it.
I've had the exact same conversations. I think I had one about a week or two ago as well. Someone at work that I've been friends with for a very long time mentioned, it was actually the other day because we played Marathon, foreshadowing ahead. We played Marathon with a work colleague of mine, Chris, and him and I were talking at work. And I was like, "Oh yeah, Chris joined us. I was playing with Matty, the guy I podcast with." And this girl pops up. She's like, "You have a podcast?" I'm like, "Yes." Everyone else in that conversation, everyone else in that same friend circle knew it, but somehow this one person had 100% forgotten. And then the thing they always do when they hear that, they're like, "Are you on Spotify?" I'm like, "Yes." And they open up their phone. "I've liked you on Spotify." I'm like,
amazing.
Awesome. Well, you'll never listen to this, but thank you.
Listen. Yeah, that same thing yesterday. "Oh, you must send me a link." Like,
yeah.
"Are you a gamer?" "No, you'll probably hate it."
Yeah, exactly.
But that is the opener now. We go, "Hi, whatever, how are you doing?" "I have a podcast." So I'm going for, oh yeah, so last story before we talk about games. Lenska was chatting to her father this week. He's like, "Yeah, I was listening to a podcast about mining something, blah, blah, blah." And then
What?
it ended.
Okay.
And then I thought I heard Matthew in the house. Because the next podcast was one of our episodes.
Oh, did it just autoplay
It just
over like the speakers?
He's like, it was
That's
so
hilarious.
nice. It was like having him back in the house again. It's like, it's so nice. They just talk shit for the first 10-15 minutes, but then it gets quite gamer focused.
So then I go next. I just want to talk shit
I thought it
moments.
was so funny. He's just like, "Whoa, what's going on here?"
He must be so disappointed at how much I swear, at least.
Oh no.
Next time I see him, he'll be like,
household,
"Alessandro, please."
Trust me, it's not a you thing. It's not that household is I'm okay swearing in front of them. It's no problem.
To me, that's always the defining points in your life when you know, it's a thing you don't do when you're a kid, or at least I didn't do. And there comes a time where you just test out the waters. You're like, I'm just in casual conversation, I'm just gonna drop a little F-bomb here. Let's see what happens. And then when no one says anything, you're like, okay, cool. It was received well. You start peppering those in a little bit more. And then suddenly it's like, oh, my parents pepper it in as well. Were we all just waiting for one another to be comfortable
do
with this?
Do you swear in front of your parents and vice versa?
I mean, not as much, but every now and then I'll just like,
hell no.
especially when I'm telling a story, I'm just like, fuck. And they're just like,
don't ever tell my mom. I swear as much as I do. She'll be so disappointed. She'll unfriend me on Facebook. That's how severe.
She'll be like, you get this haircut, now you're swearing. Next you're going to tell me you're
that
doing
is the
drugs.
typical thing, yeah. Yeah, you've been hanging out with the Alessandro guy quite a lot. That is always the worst thing growing up. If you did something that your parents didn't like, for me anyway, and my brother and my sister's like, yeah, have you picked this up from your friends? I'm like, no, this is just me being me.
Are those video games you're playing? Do you hear that on the video games?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You playing that Doom. Do they swear in Doom?
Like if swearing is your biggest concern from Doom.
You're clearly not watching
Diablo
what's
4
happening.
in the opening cinematic, you'll cry.
El Diablo.
Pull out the rosary.
Light the rosary. What?
No,
what are you doing with the rosary? Oh, this is a rosary and you're just burning it.
Oh
I think
gosh.
that's on your side.
What sect of Catholicism is that?
We have to dilute it, and you have to drink the rosary to purge yourself of all the demons. Good God, please do not do this at home ever. You will die.
You know those beads in the rosary. You drink one like a pill. It will absolve you.
Oh my God. It'll absolve you, and you will feel that coming out on the other end. That will not be great. Yeah.
As a rosary on the other side.
I had to explain to Shani what that was the other day. What were we watching?
Midnight Mass.
Well, no, we have watched that, but no, we're watching Knives Out, the new one.
Oh yeah,
because the main character is a priest. That it's really good. I really enjoyed the most recent one. It's top tier bullshit, and Daniel Craig's just having a great fucking time. But it's really good. I need to watch it. Yeah, it's the most like Agatha Christie murder mystery out of the three. Because I mean, you've watched the other two, right?
I think I've seen the first one. I don't know if I have seen the second one.
The second one's good, but it's very like, it's making a comment on like rich billionaires and bullshit like culture around that. This one's just like, yeah, this is just a mystery.
Nice.
With some really awful characters, and I think I like them all, but this one felt very traditional, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's good. It's a good time. You know what else is a good time? Extracting with loot.
Going for a run. Am I right?
Going for a run. Let's check one chat to talk about video games. The video game of the hour this week. Running a marathon in Marathon.
I wish I had my Strava ready like last time, as you alluded to last time. It would have been great.
Marathon is interesting because I think prior to actually playing it for a very long time, I played the Service Slam just the week before. I only got a limited time with it, and I was just like, not feeling this, it feels good because it's made by Bungie, so the gunplay feels good. But I was like, this doesn't seem like it's got the juice, doesn't have the legs. Legs, marathon. It's good.
Just keep them coming.
It just doesn't have enough to keep me playing. And then, obviously, it came out. We got review codes, thankfully, which definitely makes it easier to take a risk and play a few hours. And I've played some runs with you. I've played quite a few with a colleague at work. And I'm having a good time with Marathon, despite the fact that I'm losing probably about 80% of the games or the runs that I've made. If you had to ask me if I had anything in my inventory that was not a white, like common ass gun, I have nothing in my inventory that is not. I am mostly doing runs with little
skill problem, from what I'm hearing.
No, 100% skill problem, and it it giveth and it taketh away. I keep saying Marathon. So
I think my on the box review is, this game makes me so cross. And I mean, like, it makes me so angry, but I can't stop playing it. And take from that what you will. Like, I have criticisms of the game, but I do think there's enough there that I'm going to keep playing it, because I've put in actually quite a lot of time. I'm surprised to see. I've put in about 15 to 20 hours,
Oh,
which
sure.
is
Okay.
which is like a fair time to give a game. Don't get me wrong, but in terms of extraction shooters, it's sort of like it's baby time. I've got to put more time in. Um, but it's pretty brutal and how difficult it is, and it's like your enemies are ruthless, the bots are equally ruthless, and it's just a very challenging game. But I think why I can't stop playing is because, like you, I've had so many failed runs. It's not a skill issue. I was just teasing you. It's like I think this game is just very, very challenging. The 10% of runs where, or 20% where I'm killing people and I'm getting out. If I've done like my quest and I've got loot and I extract just in the nick of time, it feels good. I was thinking about it last night. There's this thing of, we all know I love a good Dark Souls game, for example, the challenge of beating a boss. It's kind of on that same level where it generates just enough like friction, but when you pull it off, you're like, oh, like that was worth it.
Yeah.
It like erases all the other cuck times, of which there are many in this game.
I think we should maybe, if people don't know what an extraction shooter is, you've played Arc Raiders. This is my sort of first extraction shooter. So the basic premise is you jump into games, in this case called like runs. It's set on like a sort of small open map. I think in Marathon there's 18 other players per match.
I think it depends on the map you're playing. I think I've read
does it change?
There's 3 maps. They all kind of get bigger in size. I think the first one's the smallest.
Okay.
I think it's just like 12 to 15 people. I could be wrong.
Okay.
This is just from what I've read.
So you have these maps. There's other squads that jump in, and basically you get to determine your loadout before you come in. You decide what weapons you want to bring in, what gear, so like ammo, health, everything, and all that comes from like a vault that sits outside of each of these matches. And your goal in these is to complete contracts. They're like small little objectives and missions that unlock more contracts and give you rewards on completion, but also to kind of loot as much as you can in the map and get out. So if you extract, you get to keep everything you've taken out with you. If you die or don't extract, everything you took in with you and everything you gathered during that match is gone. Like, you take in a super cool purple sniper rifle and some dude murks you within 30 seconds. That gun's gone.
And that happens. Like, it has happened.
Oh, yeah. So you have to balance this like risk and reward, because you don't want to always go in with like shit guns, because if you're going against people who have much better weaponry, they could have a pretty big advantage over you. And then, then you're kind of just wasting your time because you're not really gathering as much. But if you keep taking in the cool shit you got on the last run with you on the next one, and you're a bit reckless, then you're also not really making much progress. So it's like there's stakes in this in a way that there aren't in many other multiplayer shooters, which I think is why this is becoming a more popular multiplayer genre.
Yeah.
And I think Marathon sort of like threads the needle between your Escape from Tarkov, which from my understanding is very, very sweaty, very competitive and brutal, and something like an Arc Raiders, which I think is equally, you can correct me because you play a lot more, it's equally brutal, but it has more of a cooperative aspect, where Marathon is very much you are against other players, you are not here to make friends.
I think in Arc Raiders it depends, because in my experience, if you're playing solo, it's very likely you're going to enter friendly lobbies. People generally, like 95% of other players would not shoot you. Everyone's just there to sort of quest, live in that world, loot, get out, whatever. But if you play duos or trios, then it's a completely different story, where particularly trios, it feels like if you see other people, that's it. It's like you're fighting them. No room for negotiation.
I do feel like, based on the videos you shared and what I've seen on social media, Arc Raiders definitely feels like a game where you're interacting with proximity chat a lot more. You're trying to chat to people. People are like, if you down an enemy, they're just like negotiating with you not to kill them and maybe, to revive them, and you can work together towards a thing. Marathon, I feel like I firstly hear almost no proximity chat.
Mm.
Like either people are not using it or something's wrong on my end and I'm not hearing it, but almost no proximity chat on my end. The other thing that I've noticed that I think you pointed out when we were playing is that there doesn't seem to be a way to heal other players that aren't on your squad. So you're not really incentivized to work with people, or at least hear them out after you've downed them, because there's pretty much no way you can influence them getting back in the game if you've downed all 3 players, which I think is pretty different from Arc Raiders. And I think if you've played Arc Raiders before Marathon, that might be a strange like change to get used to, whereas someone like me who's playing Marathon, like an extraction shooter for the first time with Marathon, it just kind of feels normal and I can vibe with it.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable there's going to be comparisons across both. And yeah, I think that is also the most glaring thing, where you wonder if Marathon had the ability to pick up an enemy, like would the vibe be a bit different? Because at the moment there's no incentive. Like I don't understand if my apart from the fact that you can get an item like an auto revive, if my whole squad are downed or I'm down solo, I'm like, what is the point? There's just there's no reason for this interaction to happen. The game's a lot more punishing in that regard.
It's really weird that it keeps you alive in those instances sometimes. I don't understand if we're missing something or...
No, the only case use I can see is like if you have a self-revive. But even then, an enemy or squad's likely to chase you. In squad-based stuff, it makes sense, right? Because obviously you've got teammates who can help you. But if I think of any other, like Apex Legends is a good one, where the moment, if 2 of you down, you've got a third teammate alive. The moment the third teammate goes down, you all just eject out of the game, unless someone has a self-revive.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I have had instances where it doesn't do that. Like all 3 of us are down and it just keeps us alive. No, I don't know if that's because we're close to an extraction point.
Maybe, but it's just like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. The game it's such a weird thing because, like I said earlier, it's very punishing, but it can be very rewarding. But I think so. I know there are going to be Arc Raiders comparisons. I think I don't know if I did mention this, but the fact that you haven't played Arc Raiders and I have played Arc Raiders, we both come into this game from different points of view. And I just found that this game, the onboarding is also just overwhelming. Like, don't get me wrong, Arc Raiders is a lot to pick up and understand. But Marathon, I feel like it's this weird thing where the world looks like the art direction. I don't think anyone can fault that. It looks great, right? But that UX, the user interface, the menu is just, it's so much. And then even over and above that, it's just an information dump where...
Yeah.
I think having that gap between the server slam and the actual release was a weird thing, because during the server slam, I was just like, I have no idea what's going on. And I had that break and I came back, I was like, oh, I kind of understand what's going on now. And maybe it was just I'd played a couple hours by then, kind of clicked a bit more. But the onboarding in this game is just, it's hectic. And the UX is just... there's just so much going on. It's not obvious how to do certain things. Even all these hours later, it just feels weird. That everything in this game is super slick. I'm not even just talking the gunplay. Visually, it's like, it's like very visually captivating or a cool looking game, for lack of a better description. But then there's these weird friction points in the menu. And you were just saying, not in the recording, that's playing on... we've got PC footage playing. You're like, man, looks like inventory management is way easier on PC, which it's a PC thing. Like, I've got a keyboard and a mouse, but it should be... Bungie have made this extraction shooter. I think they would have made it a lot simpler on console as well. It's like inventory management, that sort of thing.
Yeah, they do the thing, Bungie, I think, were one of the few that popularized the idea of a on-screen cursor on console. Like that's how you interacted with your inventory in Destiny. But I think Destiny is an entirely different thing, because you're not looking at your inventory every couple of seconds, and the slots in there were far fewer than the stuff you have to do here. I just think on console, at least, there needs to be a better way to interact with your inventory, like get things in and out of there much quicker, especially when, you're looting crates or bags from downed enemies and you're trying to do stuff very, very quickly, especially so because all that loot is shared between all three players. So there's been times where I'm like, oh, cool, there's a health pack. Oh, it's gone because someone grabbed it.
Oh, yeah, you can loot the same thing simultaneously.
Yeah, it's
Makes
crazy
no
to
sense.
me. And just like rushing through it, being like, cool, let me get this weapon, let me get this, let me get these two things because I've never seen this icon before and I have no clue what this is. There's a lot of like a visual language to this game that I think you will get over time, but it is overwhelming and it still feels overwhelming. Like I don't know what half the things are that I'm looting still sometimes. So I think that stuff could be at least streamlined or explained a bit better, or there's maybe a better way to showcase that like in the world. But I do agree with you. I think the visual style is really striking and it looks cool and distinct, and like when you see gameplay of Marathon, you'll immediately pick up that it's Marathon.
It's Marathon,
and I think I just think sometimes there's a lot of visual noise. Like I don't know what things I can loot sometimes and what I can't unless I get really close and it kind of like highlights,
Yeah, I mean, even just enemies. How often are you running into an encounter and you look at someone and you go, is that a player? Or by the time you realize it's a player, it's like it's too late.
I do wonder if that aspect is like on purpose though, because there's been multiple times where I've thought an enemy is a runner, but it's just a bot that moves in a very human-like way. Especially the ones that do like their own cloaking and they sprint at you. They're very aggressive. It seems like a player character, but it ends up just being a bot. So I'm curious if that's a purposeful design decision because
look, it might be. It just, I don't know. It's I will say is that the more I play the game, the more I'm learning it pays to be patient and cautious. And I don't know if you've played this game. So you have played solo. Playing this game solo is a completely different experience. Squads is like, obviously you want to be mindful of the noise you're making, and you still got your eyes on, are there enemy squads nearby. Solo is a completely different thing in that you're just alone, and I feel it becomes this way more tense stealth extraction shooter where the sound design in this game, you can hear everything. If a player, even there's those rooms where it's got like those see-through, I don't know what they're called, like not curtains, the
like the things in like a meat locker. The little things.
If a player, like if you walk through it, there's a noise. If a player walks through it, you'll hear it. You'll hear, if a player's crouch, you'll hear them walking. There's been so many encounters I've had solo where I enter an area, I'm running, I hear someone and they also hear me and we just stop. We're like, okay, like what's going to happen here? So from that regard, it is this interesting balance of like, I think Bungie intentionally did that where it is meant to be super high stakes. Like,
no, I agree.
I don't think that's a mistake. Like the time to kill's a little bit too fast, I still think, but it's intentionally like they want you to really feel like, when you get loot, you have worked for that loot. And even like, I don't think it's great that the bots do a lot of damage, but I think the idea is that you want to avoid them as much as possible. Yeah. Because
if you underestimate them, you will die very quickly.
So much. I would still, Bungie, if you're listening, I would not say no to you just tweaking them that they do less damage, because yes, they really pack a punch. Like
especially on a solo run.
On a solo run, deadly. It's this weird thing where I almost feel if you loading in solo, while like I almost feel that either the bot presence should be a bit lower, or maybe the bosses should have less health. Maybe they do, I don't know, but it feels just as challenging, if not harder, on solo. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I played a solo match yesterday, and it was probably one of the best Rook runs I was having. I had the exact same scenario where I ran into a building, I heard someone, I stopped, because I never know, like if it's a bot, they'll continue moving.
Yeah.
But I stopped and didn't hear anything. I was like, it's a runner, there's someone here.
Yeah. And
I just like, I didn't move. And then I heard them move slightly, and I was like, they're above me.
Yeah.
Cool. And then they started moving, so I was like, cool, I gotta go get them. And ended up killing them as they were coming downstairs. Ended up killing another runner as well, just by chance. So I was like, oh, great. This is this is going really well. I've got a lot of loot. Let me go extract.
Yeah.
Pinged an extraction point on my map, was heading there, accidentally ran into 2 bots. They slaughtered me immediately. And I was like, awesome. What a whole run gone.
Yeah, but even that, I've had it where I've done a run and I've just stumbled onto a bot in the wild, in the field, just God knows doing what there. Shot at me. I ran into a nearby building. A player knew I was coming and just killed me. I was like, well,
the world's deadly. Like, and this is why, again, I think it's a captivating thing, because you are constantly on edge. You are constantly never, like, you're not safe at any point. And I do think the game fundamentally changes when you're playing with more people versus solo, and that's kind of cool. I think they're both viable. They're very different experiences, and you have to go in mentally knowing that. But I think it's cool that you can have both experiences and experience marathon in a different way. And it kind of still be the brutal sort of thing, even when you're running with 3 people. You're not just immediately safe, which is cool.
I think
it is just it is brutal.
It's
like,
super brutal.
It's
like, I know, and I'm going to share some thoughts from John Michael shortly, but the arc comparisons are inevitable, because they just are. So I think it's interesting hearing from you, who's not played arc, going into this versus me. It's, I don't know, they're just things like, there are things I like about marathon, but if you want to, like, throw the word out objectively, there are things that I think Arc Raiders does better than Marathon. Like, they can both exist, don't get me wrong, but it's just, I don't know. Like, it might be a different design philosophy. It probably is different design philosophies, but another good example is in like, Arc Raiders is a little bit more forgiving in that I can walk into a room with a stranger, I feel, and they can start shooting at me. I feel like I'll have time to react and do something. Whether it's me shooting back at them, or rolling out the room, or throwing a smoke grenade, something. Whereas in Marathon, there's just no time to react. And I think it's this fine line of, like, I get it's meant to be brutal, but it feels like it's a little bit too much. Like, if you've worked hard to get loot, it's just very punishing, I feel. But again, like, I get it. It's a balance, because then when you do get the loot out, it's this flips of, like, man, like, what an feeling of elation. Like, I survived that, And I think
it definitely feels like it favors the person who gets the jump. Like, if you
100%.
surprise another player, you've killed them. Like, you don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah. It's a game of third-partying other players.
Yeah.
And I'll credit John Michael for saying that, because he's right. The gameplay loop is, if you hear somebody else shooting, you are going straight there to try to take advantage of the situation, because you know they're there. They could be low health. Or if you get jumped by bots, players around you are going to hear that and come find you to kill. And I think what's also frustrating in that regard is that doing quests in this game, man, that is like, those quests, you got to do things in a single run. It's this weird balance of, I've done runs where I've been super careful, not engaged, been super stealthy, ticked all the things off, great, love it, feels good. There's been times where I'm just about to tick off the third thing, like go upload or whatever, and then bots kill me because I just took a wrong turn, turned down a wrong alley in Tal Zeti, like, oh God, what have I done? Or like, I just stumble onto another player and they just murder me, and it's like, it almost feels a little bit too punishing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
again, I think it comes down to the experience they're trying to craft and the audience they're trying to garner. And I think that's why, I thought maybe having a lot of these similar games would, they're fighting for the same market share. But now that I've played Marathon and now that I've spoken to you about Arc Raiders, it definitely feels like, no, you prefer one or the other because of these certain things, not because they are identical.
Yeah, they definitely, they've got obviously overlaps, but they're definitely different in so many ways, which, to be fair, is a good thing. I don't think anyone just wants like a first-person Arc Raiders necessarily.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, before we jump off, are you done saying your bit with
yes,
that? Although we are going to...
I guess the last thing is that I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would, and I'm playing a lot more than I thought I would, so I'm quite surprised, and it's cool to be surprised by something nowadays.
Like, Same. I've got my problems with the game, and it makes me cross, but I keep wanting to play it. So
Yeah.
that says something for the game, and I can't put my finger on. Maybe I'm a sucker for punishment. Maybe my brain just likes seeing, this faction XP bars going up and whatever. But I keep wanting to play it. So, well, for those of you who don't know, we actually got given 3 review copies because Marathon obviously lets you play in trios, and we gave a copy to a pal and listener, John Michael, who played with us, and he has shared some thoughts with us. So what's interesting from him as well is that he's a creative director. So I find it interesting that you now have a view on like the art direction or whatever, but he comes in from that angle. That makes sense. Like that's sort of like, that's his specialty, So he
Very
says,
eloquent with his description of
yeah,
games.
like I think you now go, "Ooh, color's pretty," and you'll go, "The colors are pretty because."
Fair enough.
So he said, "Thanks for giving me the opportunity to play Marathon. I thought it only fitting to give you my thoughts. So first, I need to talk about the game's user experience. I've seen discussions online where people excuse the poor UX by saying it's a byproduct of the art direction. This is factually incorrect. The visual language of the game has all the tools required to make a stunning user experience. The fact that the certain UI design fundamentals are ignored in Marathon is shocking. There's no excuse for making a primary execution button off-gray and placing it in an off-gray background. They have an incredibly versatile visual identity, but they aren't utilizing it properly." Which is fair.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I just go, it's bad, but that's a very good reason why it's bad.
But he's right. Think about like the game's got a battle pass and rewards and stuff. How long does it take you to figure out where to click on that menu?
Wait, sorry, what? It has a battle pass.
Well, there's like a rewards pass or something. You see.
What?
Point proven.
I thought you were just talking about the contracts being a different thing. There's a rewards pass.
There's like it's like for all intents and purposes like a battle pass with skins and whatever that you unlock.
Where?
In the main menu. There we go.
Cool.
Next time
I'll
you
look
log
at
in,
that today. Sure.
have a look. But the thing is, like,
Fuck.
even unlocking rewards, like you get for doing certain things, like you'll get like stickers or whatever. There's that menu where it's just so many menus to click through, and it's just like it's too much. It's just weird design. Okay, so he carries on. It says the second critical point regarding the art direction is that the world, the environment, and everything you interact with feels lifeless. You might think this is intentional given the cold, neo-brutalist aesthetic and the fact that the player character is merely a shell that contains no real life, but the ghost of a person. However, other games achieve this isolating feeling while still feeling alive. I love the Fallout series for the calming nothingness its dead empty worlds evoke. I also love near-future cyber aesthetics in bold, contrasting colors. From a world-building perspective, Marathon is something I should enjoy exploring, yet I don't. It is all the pieces of something I should love, but I feel that it fails to put them together. And he actually touches on what you said earlier as well. Every room looks more or less the same, and lootable items are not noticeable when you first enter an area. And that to me is like, I agree, like the biggest, you walk in, you're like, what am I looking at? It's just, yeah.
And I tend to agree, like all these buildings look visually very colorful and visually distinct, I think, on the outside, and then you go on the inside and it's like, cool, another science lab. Cool, another science lab.
100%.
Cool, another room with pipes.
It starts looking a bit samey, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of a weird thing.
It makes it also very difficult to determine where you are.
Yeah.
Like, what building am I
part of
actually
the
in
map
right
am I
now?
on?
Yeah.
Extraction shooters do have a lot you have to learn in the early stages of the game. However, in Arc Raiders, I was never confused of where and what I can loot. You walk into a room and there are a row of broken lockers and one locker has a closed door. It's
Smart.
like, it's just a simple like game design. And he said like the developers clearly, Arc Raiders developers clearly tested and refined looting to make it quick. So Marathon user experience could be good, but it isn't. Why after so many hours in the game do I still find myself pixel hunting loot on the screen every time I walk into a room?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I thought this was a case of like, I will get used to this, but hearing this, I'm like, oh, okay, this is just a fundamental problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's not, that's why I think it's so interesting hearing his point of view, because like from a design point of view, there are, I think, certain principles and stuff. He's like, they're just not ticking those boxes, which is weird given how good the art direction is. And then last point he mentions is combat is an interesting one. The guns feel good, and I've heard that if you like Destiny, the gunplay here will be right up your alley. As I'm not a Destiny enthusiast, I cannot comment on a comparison, but the weapons do feel great. The problem is visual clutter. You mentioned this earlier. Particles, flashes, and giant head markers create so much noise that it's easy to lose clarity on your targets. The game is selling itself in competitive combat, and visual noise does not a competitive game make. That's a minor criticism. The biggest issue is flow of engagements, which we touched on earlier. Once you understand the fast time to kill and how punishing the NPCs are, every fight plays out the same. Now that the community has learned the basics, every encounter follows a pattern. The squad focuses its attention on bots. The rival squad hears the commotion and approaches. The 20-second fight breaks out, and the squad that didn't have to worry about the bots wins. If there are no bots, then it's a simple case of whoever spotted the other player first wins.
Yeah, pretty much. I tend to agree with that. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun when you're the one third partying and spotting the enemy first, but it's equally frustrating when you die and there's nothing you could have done to turn the tides.
Yeah. There are those clutch moments where, and I think we've had them, where it's like I go down or you go down, and there's a split second where you can react, where you can hide. And if you hide enough, you sort of like tempt other players into looting your body, because if they haven't seen all three of you, they don't know if there's two of you, there's just the one of you.
For sure.
And you can then invert that like surprise factor and you can get the jump on them. But again, it's very rare, because
Super
often if you're running with a squad, you're quite closely packed together to be safe. Yeah. No, I agree with what with pretty much everything John Michael Mark was saying there.
The last, so it's just concluding thoughts is, if it's, I'll end with this. The truth is, if someone told me they were on the fence on which game to buy, I would recommend Arc Raiders. It is better on every front, and the only thing Marathon is going for is that it is first person rather than third person. At the end of the day, Marathon is not a bad game. It's just a fun game that's sharing the stage with a phenomenal game, i.e. Arc Raiders. So that's just another opinion, really. Yeah, and like
that sort of opinion makes me want to play Arc Raiders, because I'm having a good time in Marathon. So now I'm like curious what I'm missing out.
It'll be so interesting to see you go the other way now, where you've done it backwards. Not backwards, but you start on Marathon, you've gone to Arc Raiders now, to see what your view on that game is.
Yeah.
Look,
curious to try it out.
I'm going to keep playing Marathon, and I'm sure we'll keep talking about it. So yeah, it's one of those games where it's like 20 hours is nothing. It just is what it is. So, and
also being a live game, things can change. I don't think fundamentals will change, but there are going to be seasons in Marathon where I think it's like every month or every 2 months they're just wiping everyone's progress.
Yeah.
And I think that gives them a good foundation to make big changes. Then they're like, cool, new season, this is how it works. And I think if they keep it dynamic and interesting in the ways that they make these changes, then you'll keep learning, keep finding new ways to play it. I think that'll be cool.
Look, the first big patch they released like within the first week already made big, not like fundamental changes, but important changes. And that's a good example is when you're trying to do a quest, where do you go on the map? Like you go to the area, where do you see the yellow marker? They upped that radius. Sorry, a yellow marker pops up when you're close to the objective. They upped the radius from like 10 to 20 meters. I'm like, thank you. It's just it's
a huge.
So they're like
deal.
listening, and so if they can keep just making these small changes, whatever, But that is Marathon. We'll definitely check back on that.
I definitely want to keep checking on it, because there's apparently something coming at the end of the month, like a big addition.
Surprise.
Like Bungie keeps talking about this thing that they're adding, and it's kind of what they told. I mean, it went out there that they were like encouraging critics to not review it yet, because there's this thing coming, and it sounds similar. I mean, the way they talk about it sounds similar to like when a Destiny expansion dropped and the raid only came like 2-3 weeks after the fact, because they need people to kind of get to grips with the new expansion and get new weapons before they just plop the raid down.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what this thing is and if it's worth the hype, and how it changes the game.
They're banking on people working together. Bungie, you've made a mistake.
18 players in one server have to take down this one world boss. Not happening.
Not happening. Yes.
Yeah.
They'll take it down, and then one player will just kill everyone else.
Yeah, you
Really?
all loot the same corpse at once,
Oh my gosh.
and one guy runs away with the gun. Yeah,
That is marathon. Sorry, we spoke
that's
about it
marathon.
for way longer than we thought we would.
Same. Yeah, I
If-
didn't think.
If you're listening
we'd
to
speak
the
about it for that
podcast, I
long.
want you to tell us where we lost audio.
We
This
lost
is a game
audio
you
at
can
one
play.
point there. Had to completely restart a portion of that discussion because we only realized 5 minutes after it had stopped that it
Yeah.
had actually stopped. Yeah.
So hopefully that
If you
conversation
can tell us where that
flowed.
happens. Yeah. You can tell us, you'll get a podcast point.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk
Moving
about
on
next?
to something way less sweaty. Pokemon Pokopia. Pokopia?
Pokopia?
Who
Pokopia?
knows? Who knows? Only Nintendo knows.
If you say it wrong, they'll
This
sue
is yeah, 100%. They're at my door right now.
you.
Right
Reggie,
now.
please. We haven't even published the podcast yet.
Reggie, you don't even work at Nintendo anymore.
Stop-
What are you
stop to
doing
the
here? Pokemon Pokopia is, I think from the outset, everyone thinks it's just Pokemon Animal Crossing. I think it's far less Animal Crossing than people expect it to be. And if you've played Dragon Quest Builders, which I have, I've enjoyed both of them. It is fundamentally just that with Pokemon, which is no surprise given that it's made by these same developers. So
I
think
I
you should-
did not know that.
yeah, it's the exact same developers who did Dragon Quest Builders. So short brief here is that you are plopped on a map, which is very reminiscent of like a Minecraft. You know, the terrain and the
Very
ground is made of
blocky.
little bricks,
Yeah.
little blocks that you can break and kind of store and reconfigure and decorate and do all these things. But instead of just being a sandbox for you to kind of do your thing in, you are given objectives by other Pokemon here around the world to complete, which kind of guides your reconstruction of the land around you, which I really enjoyed in Dragon Quest Builders because it felt more purposeful than a Minecraft did to me. It's also got these elements of Viva Pinata. I don't know if you've ever played
I've not
Viva
played
Pinata.
Viva Pinata.
So I loved Viva Pinata. It was done by Rare back in the 360 days. And the elements of this which mimics that is you need to attract different Pokemon by building different
Okay.
habitats. So if I put 4 tiles of long grass together in a square, I will attract a Bulbasaur or a Charmander. If I wanted to attract a different Pokemon like a Magikarp, for example, I'd have to put like grass and a stool and a fishing rod, I think, near a body of water. Like there's all these prerequisites that you have to meet to attract a certain type of Pokemon.
Yeah.
And that is very Viva Pinata.
Okay.
Like until you get access to these little things, you can't attract the certain Pokemon. And it's like this tiered list of, okay, when I attract this person, I will get this ability, which allows
Yeah.
me to then get this resource, which then allows me to get this Pokemon. And it's like a like cascading train there. So I think because all of those things are together, I think it's a really, really engaging sort of, it's a cozy like survival game almost, but it is very
With a
different to
Pokemon
just an
chasing.
Animal Crossing where it's like you checking in once a day for 2 hours and then, you know, checking out. This is a game you can play for 12 hours in a row if you really want to,
Yeah.
and the game is there to give you stuff to do. I'm curious to know how you've been finding it thus far.
All I'll say is that this is a game where playing it, you think, how was this not done 10 years ago,
Before,
50?
yeah.
It's such a smart, simple premise. You know, it's literally that of like I've never played Dragon Quest Builders or Viva Pinata. So to me, I'm seeing it as an Animal Crossing in the sense that it is just this, you know, it's similar, even aesthetically, it's like kind of similar, I guess, even though the camera perspective is like not at all that same thing. But it is a thing of like, you've got this world where you can just build stuff and live in it. But you're right in that Animal Crossing is kind of like it literally is just a sandbox, free reign. You don't really have to do anything other than pay off your loan at Tom Nook, you know?
Yeah.
You just got to pay him those bills. Yeah, you've got objectives guiding you, which I prefer in a sense. You know, it gives me something to like focus on. I'm loving it. I haven't played nearly as much as I wanted to yet because I've been playing a bunch of marathon. But after a couple of hours, it is it's got those hooks where on an evening I'll be sitting going, cool, what do I need to do? And then you start doing something, you think, okay, but I need to also do this. You go do that. It's just this list of fun things you want to do. I need to make my habitats more comfortable for Bulbasaur and Charmander. But also have this new ability so I can go destroy that terrain to go explore that new area. But also I can make new habitats to get new. So there's just like a lot of things to do. But what I really like about the game is that it's very intentional about telling you, like, take it at your pace, do whatever you want. There's no, it's like meant to be a cozy game. Like it looks like a cozy game, but it plays like a cozy game, and it's very good at being like, listen, just chill, do whatever you want, just pace yourself. Just live in this world, enjoy it, and it's very wholesome. It's super
extremely wholesome. Yeah. I think it's really smart. It's smart and creepy in the same measure that you play as a Ditto. I think it's really fucked up that you play as a Ditto who can't really remember what their trainer looks like, so they kind of like try to replicate that, and he just looks like a Funko Pop. It's there is nothing behind those eyes. It's really messed up, and I really appreciate that you can actually, instead of looking like an actual human, just take on a human form and stay purple like a Ditto, which I was very tempted to do. Yeah. Extremely tempted. But it's cool because then all the abilities that you get, as you chat to other Pokemon, they will be like, oh, cool, I will give you this ability. And because he's a Ditto, he doesn't like completely mimic that ability. And he does like an interpretation of them. But those are the sorts of tools you use to construct your world. So like Bulbasaur will let you pull up grass with his little vine things. Scyther will let you cut trees into logs. Is it Machamp? Yeah, I think it's Machamp. Gives you the boxing gloves that you can break blocks with. Is it Machamp? No, it's not Machamp. It's Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan?
That one.
The dude with the boxing gloves. It's cool that this repertoire of moves just keeps growing and growing, and that's how you interact with the world. It's similar to like getting tools in a Dragon Quest. Hitmonchan, that's the dude. And each of these Pokemon also have different requests for you. Because you're a Ditto, you can understand what they're saying, which I think is really cool. You're actually conversing with the Pokemon as opposed to just hearing them repeating their name constantly. But it will be like, oh, the Squirtle, to make him more comfortable where he is, you need to make his environment more humid. So I had to get like a river flowing through that area. Or for Combi, I think it was, the little bee thing, I had to put more light in their habitat. So I had to like erect different lights. And I think as you do this, you not only renovating the land around you and putting your own creative spin on it, but you are satisfying these requests for Pokemon who then are able to pay that in kind by helping you construct other things, giving you different abilities. It's just this cool treadmill of things to keep doing and keep playing.
Yeah.
And I think it's very good at keeping you engaged with what you're doing. I've been playing on the couch with Shani watching, and we just like we chat through what we want to do. It's like, okay, we should do this. We should go and water that. We should take on this little quest. And I think it's just fun to play in that sort of setting as well.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that bugs me, why can I only throw water in a little cross-shaped thing?
Oh my god. I'm hoping at some point I'll get Squirtle will evolve into Blastoise or whatever, and then like, oh, listen, any barren land I see, I'll water it for you. That's my open dream, because that little plus of water it's like, it's the problem is that I want to have green everything, so I spent a lot of time like and after a while I just sit and I think, why am I doing this?
It was the same with Shani. She's like, you can't leave that one brick unwatered. And it's like, we are going to be here for hours if we do this every week.
And I sincerely hope, I don't know if this is the case, but I hope later down the line there's an ability to just brief a Pokemon to do it, or I don't know, bigger
Have you broken a little block that's like keeping a dam away, and then watched that dam
that
move through,
very satisfying,
and everything goes green, and you just like,
super satisfying.
It's just it's like that, the gif with Antonio Banderas. You just like Mm.
I was like, mm.
Mm.
That's great. It's a really wholesome, cozy game, and like I haven't
It's
played
super
it
good.
nearly
Yeah.
enough, but I'm gonna keep playing it. It's a game that I think you hit the nail on the head. Where Animal Crossing was this weird thing. I loved Animal Crossing. Do not get me wrong.
Same.
A
Yeah.
lot
Loved
of
it.
time with that game.
100+ hours into that
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
Animal Crossing was different in that, like you said earlier, you play 2 hours a day because you reached a point where you build something, and Animal Crossing said, "Okay, go sit down. We'll see you tomorrow."
Pretty much. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Whereas this game has that, but like way less. I don't know to what extent the build times extend. I imagine the bigger they are, the longer they take. But like the first hut you
Oh
build,
yeah, that's good to mention. Sorry, that the building takes real world time.
yeah, but
Like the first habitat you build is like
it's like
15
15
minutes,
or
I
20
think.
minutes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fine. You know, it's an
You can still
interesting.
go do other
You can
stuff.
go do
while
other
you,
stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Animal Crossing was straight up like, see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
That's-
pretty much.
That's how that's. And again, it's just different approaches. Animal Crossing was a thing of take your time. This game's going to be played for months. Whereas
Mm.
Pokopia, you're going to play it for months as well, but you can kind of just plow through and do a lot of other different things. You know, like
Yeah.
you said, fulfilling requests, you building, but doing a whole lot of other stuff as well.
I think especially the beginning of the game. The beginning of the game is still relatively slow because it's teaching you all these things.
Mm.
But I think it respects you a lot more than Animal Crossing does, because that is still to this day the biggest problem I had with Animal Crossing was you had to essentially wait 5 days before the game really opened up, because it's like, do this thing and it takes like half an hour on the first day, and it's like, come back tomorrow, and it does that for 5 days before it kind of gives you the freedom to start doing other things and extending your playtime to maybe 2 or 3 hours a day. And I just thought that
It's all
it's
Tom
just
Nook's
an
master
insane
plan.
thing to do. I can't imagine how many people bounced off that game. Okay, clearly not enough, because that game sold like absolute crazy. But like, I can
COVID,
imagine someone
people had
doing
nowhere
that
else
for
to
2
go.
days. That's true. COVID helps, because it's like, oh well, I'm at home. I'm just gonna, like log in and do this thing. I swear to God, if I was commuting between work or like really busy, then I don't think I would have got into Animal Crossing in the same way because of that.
Yeah.
And I think Pokopia does a much better job of just onboarding you quickly and going. I really want you to play Dragon Quest Builders after this, because I think you will absolutely love it. Like, I don't have a huge affinity for Dragon Quest as a franchise. I think it looks really cool because it's, it's Akira Toriyama, the Dragon Ball Z guy. Like, that's his thing as well. So the blue slimes look cool. The characters look really cute. But it's different in a way that I think it pushes back on you a bit more. Like, it is slightly more survivally. Like, you got to keep your hunger up and stuff like that. And also, at the end of each quote unquote act, once you've satisfied a certain number of your villagers' like requests, your village actually gets attacked. And it turns into like a base defense game where you have to use the villagers that you've got and the structures you've built to stave off this attack, which can actually like really damage your village that you then need to like reconstruct and rebuild. And it's really cool. It's I think, again, just pushes back on you a bit more than I think Pokopia ever will, but I think you will get a lot of juice out of that. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, it is. Dragon Quest Builders is a weird thing that I've always thought I'd enjoy it, but just never got around to it. I had no idea Pokopia was the same developers.
Yeah,
so.
Same team. Funnily enough, same team who also makes all the Dynasty Warriors games, all the Muso games. Same people. Weird.
How?
Weird. Like the Hyrule Warriors stuff, same team as Pokopia.
Yes, they're like this with Nintendo. Like, give us Pokemon. We'll do something with it. But again...
could you imagine if they made a Muso Pokemon game?
See, that's one of those things where this is... where like there are some games that happen, and you think, how did this take so long, to exist? And this is one of those games where it doesn't seem obvious. And also, it's like, okay, a Muso Pokemon game, it's a good idea, but until somebody actually spends the time developing it, we'll never know, if it's a good game or not. So kudos to whoever pitched Pokemon Dragon Quest Builder Crossing, whatever, and pulled it off, because it is also the thing of, it's also fun to collect the different Pokemon. It's like you're following that whole trend, but it's just packaged completely differently. It's like as wholesome. you're not trying to be the very best, the best there ever was. Okay, that
No,
throw
you're not
that
even a
formula
human.
out the window. You're
Yeah.
just out here to have a chill time with your Pokemon pals, and I love that for this game and for me.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, where it's like, I like Pokemon as a property, but I don't vibe with the RPGs. I just don't think any of them have fundamentally changed.
No,
And I think they are predominantly, I mean, yes, they're made for children, and then, the big children are the ones who get into the real competitive nonsense. And I just I find myself in the middle where I'm like, I'm not a child anymore, so I desire something a bit more complex. But by the same token, I don't want to get deep into just battling.
100%.
And I think that's why I've just bounced off the RPGs, despite wanting to interact with Pokemon as a property more. This, like you said, gives you the ability to do all the Pokemon hunting and the collection and whatever in a framework that feels novel and fresh. And I think that's why people are very much attracted to this game now. It's the highest scoring Pokemon game of all time, which is an insane thing to think about.
Excuse me.
How is that possible? But
Yeah.
it's true. And you're seeing sales hit 2 million, I think, copies sold in 4 days. I think this is attracting people who aren't used to this. Yeah. I looked at the what is the new Pokemon gen? Waves and water, wind and wave,
God
whatever.
knows.
I don't really care for that, because it's just going to be the same, new trainer, get your starter, go and fucking fight 4 gyms, whatever. This is cool. This is fresh and different. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy this exists.
Yeah. Same.
Sorry, Darren. I don't like it.
Don't take it personally.
Yeah.
But
Take
yeah,
it personally.
we'll
Accept
we'll
it.
definitely be checking back on that as well, because we're still early days.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm very. It is the thing now that Shani and I play
Very nice.
together, so I'm enjoying it. Yeah. Lastly,
one thing we have
and
finished,
relatively quickly. One thing that I also think we have slightly different opinions on. Resident Evil Requiem, RE9, Requiem,
Renanquiem.
whatever. So I think the last time we spoke about this, you and I were sort of in a similar place in the game, which I think, looking back now, was around halfway.
Yeah.
We had just finished the big Grace section and moving on to the big Leon section. So if you're unfamiliar, Resident Evil 9 adopts this dual protagonist approach to things, where you play as Grace Ashcroft, and her gameplay mimics, I think, a lot of Resident Evil 7 specifically, but also 8, in a way that it's way more horror focused, way more survival focused, and it's first person by default. You can play either mode in first or third person, but by default it's first. And then you also play as good boy Himbo Leon Kennedy, with his Backstreet Boy hair. It's glorious. I love it. You play as him as well, and that is very much a Resident Evil 4 sort of action-y, still horror, but very, very action-focused
More
sort of
action
game.
focused, for sure.
You bounce between these two gameplay perspectives, and their stories kind of intertwine. And this is, for all intents and purposes, a sequel to RE2. I think in terms of narrative, you are kind of seeing the payoff of what happened to Raccoon City, what happened to, how does Leon react coming back to all this stuff. And I think from that perspective, it's still silly B-grade horror nonsense. Of course there's a new disease, and of course there's a new thing, and of course these zombies do something different. And I think it's cool. This is, I think, where we differ. I don't think the dual protagonist stuff works as well as it probably should, and I think I wish the game chose one or the other, because I don't think there's enough. I wanted more of both, and I think both of them create some big tonal whiplash when you move between the two, because the tension is completely cut out with Leon, and I really enjoy that tension with Grace. And I just, me personally, I wish there was more Grace stuff and less Leon stuff, just because that's what I was enjoying the most. And it's a bit of a bummer to me that there isn't that. You get to the end quite quickly and you're like, I wish there was another big Grace section. So I'm curious to know how you.
No, I agree with you in
that.
It's I just wanted more. I think that's probably the biggest compliments I can give the game, where it is a dual protagonist, but both campaigns are super strong. I think in terms of Grace's being survival horror, good God, I played it on classic difficulty, limited ink ribbons. That first part in the hospital was just like chef's kiss, so tense, trying to get her out of there. So that's
It's the
like
best part of the game, in my opinion.
yeah, that's like
so
the perfect survival horror. Whereas Leon is just his stuff is it's just Resident Evil 4, but in a modern, we've got remake 4, but remember that is just remaking the older game. This is like the first original good over the shoulder action Leon stuff. And I think that they both do things so well. But you're right in that I think it's just disappointing that you want more. You're just like, I just want to play more. It's even just watching the footage. I finished the game, I'm like, man, I gotta go back and replay this now because I just had so much fun being both characters. But like I agree with you and I disagree with you in that I think it would have been beneficial to have them as standalone games, 100%. But also take my hats off to Capcom for trying to always do something different and it landing this time. I think Resident Evil 6 is like the black sheep of the franchise because it just tried to do way too much. I think at the time Capcom were like, we're going to bring everyone in. We're going to bring Chris and Leon. We're going to bring Sherry was there. We're going to bring all these characters and we're just going to put these huge set pieces and there's 4 campaigns in one game. And it's just like, it was just too much. Like, I still stand that I think Resident Evil 6 was a good action game, but it was like a terrible Resident Evil game.
Bad game.
Let's see you shaking
Bad
your
game.
head. We can talk about that off air.
It's definitely not. I agree with you. It's this because I think people do maybe hear dual protagonists and they go, "Oh God, not again!" Because 6 was meant to be that. Like each of these campaigns was meant to feel a bit distinct and different. This is not that at all.
No.
I think this triumphs in a much, much bigger way than that. I do agree that it's just like this is not short by Resident Evil standards.
No.
If you play most Resident Evil games, they're around like 12, hour campaigns. I just think because you're splitting the difference between what feels like 2 very different games, both of them feel a bit short and stunted.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the biggest criticism I have with it, which again, like you said, is a good problem to have. I wanted more because I was enjoying each part so much. It's just, I found when I could see I was getting to the end, I was like, I feel like at every point, I feel like I was just starting, if that makes sense. Like you get to Leon's big section and I'm like, cool, this still feels like an introduction because it's an introduction to him, but you're halfway through the game at that point. It felt weird. I also I like Leon's gameplay and I like playing as him. I don't like his big open world section. I just think the environment is a bit drab and not scary and just there.
I have problems with it. Like, I don't think Leon's game, the horror for Leon comes more from just like being overwhelmed by like WTF enemies. So I'm not so much worried about that. And I do think there are parts of that open world, like if you're watching the footage now, being in a dark subway, it is just like super tense. Well, not tense is not the right. It's playing Leon and playing Grace are 2 completely different experiences. I've lost my train of thought now. What was I getting at? I cannot remember what I was going with this. I'm so sorry.
Drab.
Oh yeah,
open
thank
wide
you.
world.
You brought me straight back. So there are definitely parts I enjoyed, but I agree with you in that it structurally, like the whole point of this section is that it's meant to be open ended, that you can kind of go where you want to. And I would love to see a Resident Evil game that is just that. You figure out this larger puzzle as the whole game where you can go anywhere, kind of like the Breath of the Wild, whatever. But there are parts, and I can see hints of that here. I'd love to see.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because that's what this started as.
It's an open world thing.
Yeah, and they pulled back on it, so you can see the bones of that.
Yeah, Capcom, I still want to see that, but I just got a bit turned off by some of the open world sections more than the open world itself. Like, okay, if you're gonna play this game, you don't want to have spoilers. Turn your ears off for 15 seconds. Like every time a Resident Evil brings shooting zombies, I'm just like, why? It turns me off so much. And that one section where there are zombies shooting bombs at you. I'm just like,
Are you talking about the skyscraper thing?
I'm just like, hey,
Yeah,
where they're
no,
like
yeah.
shooting mortar. I'm like, Capcom, why?
Yeah, no, I was
It
also like,
just,
fuck this.
it
No.
just doesn't fit with this game in any way. I don't know who thought
Yeah.
like, let's put this in, it'll be fun. I'm like, it's not fun.
Mm.
Instead of running away from zombies, I'm trying to tell him like, okay, that zombie's shooting a mortar. Okay, I can run now. It's just like, I don't find that fun. It's
Oh,
just
the one that pissed me off a lot is the one that has a machine gun and randomly shoots
Yeah,
at you,
that's
but
what
always
I'm
hits
saying.
you. Fuck.
Shooting zombies, just don't do it. Full stop.
Yeah. I do like the idea of, and I don't think it's fully explored in this game, which I find slightly disappointing, of zombies in this one that have a strain of like the T virus that helps them retain some of their like memories and their habits. So you see it mostly in Grace's section where like there are some enemies that are just obsessed with having lights on. And so you can use that to your benefit where you like turn one off and he comes to a section to return it on and you can use that to like get around them.
Yeah.
The same goes for some enemies that just hold weapons because it's, you know, an object that they would have in their day-to-day job. But that's kind of like it. It's very surface level and I think it could be explored a bit better.
More,
like
yeah.
the big introduction is there's a doctor who is holding a weapon in a you know, hospital ward. Why is that weapon a chainsaw? Like it's really cool that
Don't
you
ask
get to shoot that
questions.
chainsaw out of his hand and then use it on him, but it makes no sense to me. It's just
Yeah, look,
I think it's a cool idea that I want to see explored more, but just don't give them guns. Like
Yeah.
guns is really
yeah,
not
but
fun.
the thing is there are dumb Resident Evil moments.
That's true. That's true.
Which is
like
just part
Leon
of the
could have saved
course.
that nurse. 100% he could have saved that nurse.
Leon was just he just stood back like yes.
And he had time to like quip after it as well. I was like, Leon, what are you doing?
Yes, the chainsaw. Oh, she's dead. Anyway, it's like, oh, what are you doing?
I love it. That's the sort of like Resident Evil bullshit that I'm here for as well.
It is. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, if you don't know anything about Resident Evil, you come into this game, you might roll your eyes, and let me tell you that's 100% intentional. Like there's the motorbike section as well.
Oh, top tier. Loved it.
Like, part of me is like, why is this here? Another part of me is like, yes, Resident
Thank God
Evil.
it's here.
Yeah, but it's
good. Like the criticisms I think we have are because we have been spoiled with Resident Evil games recently. Like they have not missed, and so I don't think this one misses at all. Especially for you, I just think I expected slightly more from it.
I think it does a lot of Resident Evil things very well. Like it balances a lot. It you know I don't want to throw the phrase, but it's like it's a love letter to the Resident Evil. Because it really is. It takes a lot of the best elements from all the different games over the years. And my God, there's so much nostalgia in that. If you didn't know,
there's some good callbacks.
You go back to the Raccoon City Police Department. And I didn't realize this. Like I knew, okay, you go to Raccoon City, you go to the police department, but I didn't expect to actually get to walk around pretty much the whole police department. And if you've played Remake 2, you'll go, oh my God, like they've taken that exact shell and like just fast forwarded it X number of years to, it's been hit by a bomb, but there's still these little Easter eggs and things you can pick up on. Like a good example is that first zombie Leon sees in the police station. Like after he goes down the one hallway and he looks at it, there's the one scene of him zooming in. He's like missing his bottom jaw, whatever. That zombie's still there, just chilling on the ground. It's like, oh, that little banner saying "Welcome, Leon."
Yeah, it's like strewn on the floor.
It's just like an Easter egg. There was a banner when he arrived in Raccoon City. He was being welcomed by the police team. It just
like
made
Leon
me want to play
quips or
Remake 2 again.
Yeah, he audibly repeats lines from Resident Evil 2, which are him, coming to terms with being back there and remembering that night that completely like started him on this path. I think it's that again, very, very strong moment in the game. And just wanted more of that in essence. So, but it's good that it has those highs. I think there are a lot of highs in this game, and even the the lows aren't low. They're just kind
Mm.
of like you want it all to be matching the same sort of benchmark
Yeah.
that the series, I think, has set for itself in its recent history.
Yeah.
So it's good. I think it's like, I think you make a good point. It's cool that they're experimenting.
Mm.
It's cool that they're not just phoning in sequels, which I think they were guilty of. And it's what got them into the bad place.
Mm.
I think it's cool that they're experimenting. I don't like the dual protagonist approach as much, and I hope they don't
And
go
I hear
forward with
that
that going
100%.
forward. Yeah.
I think, when I say, I think it's just, I'm glad that this experiment, like, I think it landed. It was a good taste of different Resident Evils coming together. And I think the game is really good. Like, again, I hear you. It's just, the game's really good, but you just want more from both.
For sure. Yeah, but by the same token, I've been tempted yesterday. I was like, what if I start a new run on like a higher difficulty and like see how quickly I can get through this? Because Resident Evils are built for replayability, which I really appreciate. Yeah.
Where it is, you'll do it a lot quicker because you know where to go now. You know what bullshit to expect. I
probably should have used the Requiem a lot more. I had like 12 bullets left when I finished the game.
You got to talk about resources. So the first half of the game was so challenging because if you don't know, playing in classic mode, you've got limited ink ribbon. You can only save with an ink ribbon, okay? And in Requiem, you have this system, this like a blood machine that you use to get blood samples to turn into items. Resident Evil logic.
Blood turns into bullets.
Why am I turning blood into bullets with scraps? Who the shit knows? Okay.
Grace is resourceful, man.
But it was those first few hours were so tense because it's like, oh my god, I've got blood. I need to make ink ribbons, but now I'm missing out on making all this other stuff. But playing the second time, I'm going to be a lot more liberal because by the end I had so many resources. I was just hoarding.
Yeah.
I was so worried. I had multiple ink ribbons. I had, those things you can one shot that like poison.
The little like
I had
purple
so
injector
many of
thing.
those just stored up. Which, okay, again, block your ears if you're going to play this game. Okay, Grace, the second section, there's all those lurkers. Lickers, sorry.
The lickers,
yeah. Not a problem. I had so many of those little things to just off them. So I was like, man, this is fun.
Man, they throw a lot of those at you in the Leon section, though. Holy shit, they become a problem. That's where I started using the Requiem a lot because I was like, fuck this. These guys are taking so many bullets to down. I've got like 20 plus bullets in this thing. Let's just go.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool that they give you the game's strongest weapon like
at the beginning.
At the start.
Yeah.
But they're like, no. There's very little ammo for the entire game, so use it sparingly.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really it's cool. Like that opening section is still my favorite part of the game, and I think that is just like peak Resident Evil, and they've nailed that formula so well. The puzzle box mansion with a lot more horror in it, and good God, that with Resident Evil 1's mansion.
Oh yes,
fucking give it to me. I will.
I'll cry.
I just want them to do that. So badly. Like,
they
give me an
to.
RE2 style remake in that, because again, the police station was this like puzzle box that you had to kind of navigate. The Resident Evil 1 is really good. Like, go play the original remake from 2002. I did that a couple of years ago for the first time. It's still super good, but that in this framework would just would eat.
I wonder if moving forward, like whatever game, okay, I know on the cards is a Code Veronica remake.
That seems to be the next one they're doing. Yeah.
I wonder, like, if they remake one or whatever, I wonder if they'll always have the option to flip between first and third person.
First person in one would be sick.
Yeah, which is very interesting because going into Requiem, I was a bit torn of like, to me, Resident Evil is not first person. Like, I love 7 and 8, don't get me wrong, but the purist in me is like, it's always over the shoulder. Well, fixed camera over the shoulder. I want to play. I'll probably play Requiem like that. But it's so clever in that Grace's sections are first person and Leon's are third person. And you can change that if you want to, but that's our default. I would play the first remake in first person.
Absolutely.
Like
Yeah,
it would
I
just
would as
suit
well.
that game so well.
Yeah. And I think, in 7 and especially the start of 9 with Grace, I think the first person works because you feel very vulnerable.
Mm.
Like initially Ethan Winters in 7 can't really do much to save himself.
Mm.
And so that first person perspective just amplifies the feeling of like helplessness and dread. And I think that's definitely mirrored with Grace here. I think Resident Evil 8 showcases that you can still have that perspective and be more actiony. And I think that's where like a RE1 would make a lot more sense, because it's not in Resident Evil 4. It is very much still survival horror, but you are playing as people who kind of understand the situation they're in and can respond to it. But I still think first person will bring that sort of dread back in. Like, I want to turn around a corner and see a Crimson Hen and shit myself. Like that's the game I want to play.
If they could just leave that out of the remake, remake, that'd be great.
What, the Crimson Heads? Yeah. When I saw a similar thing in 9, I was like, damn, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
The moment you have the option to like use that injector thing on a corpse, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I know exactly what's happening.
Oh no, don't even tell me. And then it happened, you're like, oh no.
And the problem there is I'd killed so many enemies by then. I was like, fuck. Like, as soon as I come back to these guys, they're just going to be a problem. And they were.
Great game though. Loved it.
Apparently, I don't know how true this is, but I was listening to Giant Bomb, and they have Jeff Grubb on there. And apparently Capcom has these sort of like retreats, or at least the Resident Evil team, every couple of years, where they map out the next couple of years of Resident Evil. And apparently that's happening like now. So they are planning the next, couple of games in the series. So I think Code Veronica is the one that people keep saying is in development already, but I think we'll start hearing more about what comes after that, after this whole like retreat has happened. So curious to see where they go. I mean, there will be a Resident Evil 10. 9 definitely sets that up. But I want to see what remakes. I don't know if you got the same impression, but there is stuff here that kind of makes way for a remake of Resident Evil 5 that is different.
Yeah,
like
I think
in a retconny sort of way.
Yeah,
which
I
is
think
interesting.
I've seen a lot of discourse on that as well.
I'd take it.
I love Resident Evil 5. Problems and all.
Same,
I'll play a remake. If you can retcon it, that's cool. No problem.
Top tier gameplay, that.
Yeah, I'll happily
give
play
me
it.
back my laser dot sights on my guns.
Yeah. Resident Evil 10 will be set in Rio. You heard it here first.
Get out of here. What could they actually make the name? Resident Evil Riot. That's got an I and an O in it.
Oh my god.
That's like a 10.
Phone, place your bets. Get the bookies on the phone. Resident Evil Riot. And then we're like, the 10 will just like...
It's a terrible name.
That won't work.
Terrible name.
It has to be RE in the name. So
shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Requiem was REQ, which made the 9.
Resident Evil Requiem.
But Village doesn't do that. Village is just Village.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. Village.
Checkmate.
Village. Damn it! Yeah, you're right.
I'll find a way.
Have to do that. Rio's back on the menu,
what's
boys.
what's the Roman numeral for 10? Is it X?
X, yeah.
They could do something with an X because they did
X
Roman
back.
numerals for 8. Yeah.
Again.
That's good. I applaud Capcom for somehow bringing the series back and like still delivering on it to this day. So
yeah.
Very happy to be in a timeline where Resident Evil is fucking back and staying back. It's really, really good.
Same. Love it.
Think that's going to be it for this episode. Again, try see where we stitch together some of the audio. Good luck. We're just that good.
I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
We're just that good. Thank you so much for listening. It's really cool that we get to talk about a lot of recent games now. There's a lot still coming, and I think there's a bit of a lull going into April now, but there's still some. April's cool. April's got Pragmata, which I'm really excited for. I don't know if you've played the demo.
No.
I think that game's going to be pretty
close.
cool.
Yeah.
And then just not long after that, we've got Forza Horizon 6 coming out too. Very excited for that too. And some cool indies coming as well. That that Cyberpunk one. What's it called? Replaced.
Replaced. That's it.
The replaced. Yeah, that's
the
coming
code
out
name
in
for
April as
Resident
well.
Evil 10. Replaced.
Sure, could be. So some cool things coming up. So we'll be back relatively soon as well. But until then, thanks so much for listening. Stay safe. Enjoy the games. Let us know what you're playing, and we will see you next time. Thank you, Maddie.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.